What's up, everybody? I know who it is. Man, I am back again with another video. Man, been sitting up in the house all day, but been in and out the house, Catch some of that little cold air out there, for a minute or two, but sitting back watching a lot of videos, but this video is not about the videos I've been watching, it ain't got nothing to do with them at all. This one's about lawsuit Jerry. I went through a lot of stuff back then coming up from young age, man. I must have been about, I'd say about 16 years old. Falling behind my brother, my younger brother. Now, this story is going to get kind of ridiculous, but it's going to remind you of a movie. When my brother and his friends was all getting high, one day. Sitting there smoking a joint. And at the time, it never did bother me, but being around them and stuff like that, So I asked my brother and them, could I get a hit? And they told me no. But this supposed to be my younger brother is telling me, no, I can't have a hit. So, to come around with his friends and stuff, his friend was like, no, give him a hit, let him hit it. So I decided they hit it a couple times. I must took about 3 or 4 puffs off of it. Inhaled it like a dummy. Get done, go inside the house, sitting on the couch. It was my younger brother, his girlfriend, and I was sitting on the other side of her. And another friend was sitting on the couch too. Now, I felt something. I got the feeling where my eyes, was feeling funny, my head was feeling funny, and next thing I know, sitting there watching TV and everything, I realized I couldn't feel anything. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I go touching on everybody and can't feel them, slam my hand on the table, can't feel them, and I kind of panicked from that. So, but just like I said, my brother's girlfriend was sitting on the side by me. And I said, well, since I can't feel nothing, maybe they can't feel nothing either, So I ended up biting her on her shoulder. She got to screaming. I jumped up so fast, it kind of scared me a little bit, I went inside the laundry room and all I remember, the washing machine was rolling, the dryer was rolling. And I decided to open up the dryer door to stick my head in to catch some of the heat. That really messed me up. They had to get me out of the dryer because I was climbing inside the dryer because I couldn't feel nothing. And I really didn't feel the heat inside the dryer. They were trying to hold me still in the house, keep me from going anywhere. I think my mother and father was on their way home at the time. But what really happened was after that, I ended up taking off outside. And it was cold that night that I remember. I think it was close to winter time. And Lawsuit Jerry ended up putting off all his clothes and I took me a run down the street before you know it, And this is a story I never told anybody because, it was kind of crazy about, I think about all the stuff what happened back to me back in the days. And so, yeah, I did. Stripped off all my clothes, and took off running down the street. So, you telling me, everybody ended up following me down the streets. My brother and them had to grab my car to follow me to catch me, but they couldn't catch me because I ended up taking off between the woods, up in Lockport, and Lockport was a number of field back there. So, I ended up running through the field, so the car could not go through there. Running through some cornfield that I know of. So, yeah, I took off running. And when they finally caught up with me, they got me back home, got me dressed. By the time we got there, my parents was there. And my brother and them told me, you gotta stay calm, because if they find out that you was getting high with us and blah, 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 they're gonna get us, And I couldn't keep myself calm at the time. And my father was like, what's wrong with him? And stuff like that. Oh, nothing, he's okay. He's just tired. And he was like, no, he's not tired. My daddy took one look at me in my face, and he knew it right then. He knew I was high off of weed. Don't you know my father took me to the hospital and to see what the doctor can do to me to get the highness off of me? The doctor said there's nothing they can do. Take him back home, put him in his room, put him in his bed. If you have to time him down, or, cut off all the lights, keep him from freaking out so much. Have someone to sit there and watch him while he's in there. So my father had my younger brother watch me all night long in that room because of me getting high, smoking a joint. And that's one thing my father always told me. If you can't handle the stuff, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I decided not to do it anymore after that. But got to another point that I always wanted to taste a drink because my father always had moonshine around the house. Ended up getting my hands on some of that. I said maybe about two swallows of that. Told me up again. I felt the same way. Did the same stuff over and over and over again. My father locked me back up inside the room. Cut off all the lights and make me stay in that room. But he ended up punishing me real good. He got me really good. He was like, you want to drink, and do all this stuff. You want to get high and stuff. He said, I'm going to find a way to stop you from doing all of this. Because I don't want you getting involved with it for the rest of your life. And he had called one of our cousins from out of Chicago. And he come down and he told him what I was doing. He said, I got a way to make him quit. He said, but I had to do it for him. And he was like, he said he did it for his son too, so he gonna do it for me. So my uncle ended up lighting up one of them big old fat cigars. Lit it up. He said, I want you to take this cigar, I want you to smoke it, and I want you to inhale it. At least 2 times. After I done that stuff 2 times, that cigar had me so messed up, it felt like I was just jacked up from the ground. It had me throwing up all over the place. And he said, it's only one thing I can do for you. After you get sober from all this, he said, I'm going to take you on a trip. And the trip he took me to was to the cemetery. He pointed out one of his friends in the cemetery that drunk so much, they got high so much, ended up putting them in the grave so early. And he said, if you want to be that person, that's where you're going to be, right there. And that what made me stop messing around with trying to get high with weed. I never mess with it anymore. Drinking, I never mess with that anymore. I was drinking Mad Dog 2020. Called Mad Dog 2020 was a sweet drink, stuff like that, but it mess you up, you know what I'm saying? So after I took a glass of drink of that, it had me messed up, so I couldn't really mess with any kind of type of liquor anyway. Even though I was going to clubs and stuff like that, and when I go to clubs, a lot of people was laughing at me because all I wanted was orange juice or a pop, I would never drink anything else. So that's one thing I never did. So I said, well, since I'm not drinking, ain't no need for me to go to clubs. So I stopped messing around with clubs, I must have been about 21, 22 years old after I left the club because I used to work in the club too, and out here in Joliet, So the owner had 2 clubs. I worked in there for a few years and stuff like that as a DJ, as a cook, stuff like that. But I never messed around with no liquor and stuff. So once he ended up passing away, it wasn't no need for me to go back to a club again. So I left it all alone after that. But my dream always wanted to be like my father, more like my uncles, and it never just didn't turn out like that, My father always had good jobs, I always had good jobs too. My uncles was out there doing great things that I know of, because I grew up around them. And just like CJ on 32 grandfather. I was always around his grandfather all the time too. But they did a lot of hunting and stuff like that. So I could never go hunting with them because I always turned their dogs into stray dogs. So CJ's granddaddy kicked me out from the car because I couldn't never go hunting with them anymore because I always got the dogs out there to play around with me without hunting for pheasants or rabbits and stuff like that. But that's one thing about him too. Um, when I turned his dogs into straight dogs, and he jacked me up by my back of my collar, my shirt, and he took me for a little walk, and he was like, when you come to my house, you see my dogs, you turn around and go the other way. Don't even get that close to them, and he always teased me about that. So, man, I mean, they were some good, wonderful people back then growing up with him, coming up. I had fun with his grandparents anyway, you know what I'm saying? Because I was always around them a lot more than I was around my aunties. So his grandparents was my godparents. So they was more like family, man. I mean, we were just that close to each other, We grew up with each other, We hung out with each other, Special holidays, And I'd be like, man, I'm going to stay with the Osborns, for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Me and my brother, we go over there and stay with them for the weekend, and hang out with them. Because we never did want to stay at home because you go to their house, you had all the sweet cookies and cakes and stuff like that, wherever they cook, My parents them did the same thing too, but we always wanted to get away from home to get to them, and we never got no turn back when we go over there. They always invite us in, come on in, have something to eat, sit down, have something to eat, I don't care if you was full, you still have to sit down and have something to eat because you coming over there, you got to come to eat because the last time I saw them when they was living, I took a visit up there with them with me and my girls, my daughters, and introduced my daughters to them and stuff like that, and man, we must have spent like 3 hours up there, just sitting up there with them. And man, I miss them so much, man. Especially his uncles, and stuff, Like I said, we was all like family, like brothers and sisters, always there with each other, watching out for each other and stuff like that. When they come to the house, we was happy to see them come to the house anyway, and especially when we go to their house, it's like open arms, and so all the open arms became very close to each other, So a lot of people wonder why me and CJ is sort of close to each other because his grandparents, his father, his mother, I've been knowing his mother for a long, long time, very long time, she used to stay in one of the buildings where I used to work at. But the thing with her, though, it was like whenever she turned in a work order, for something to get fixed in the apartment, I always took care of that, but I never did charge her. You know what I'm saying? I never brought a ticket for it, I always went in and just did it, on my time, and just took care of the job, you know what I'm saying? Whatever she needed done in there, I took care of it, So uh, that's one thing I never did with family, like to charge them. Especially when CJ had me doing something, I don't want to charge him, sometimes I be like, I don't want it, I don't need it, because it's like having family, family, you shouldn't have to charge family anything, anything at all. But I did give, but the thing is that, CJ know what I did for him. He know what he did for me. So it's all about good things that we did for each other, But by me detailing his cars, I wouldn't mind doing them for free. You know what I'm saying? Because it's my hobby. I like what I do with them cars. I like put my hands all over his cars. I don't like put my hands on everybody's cars, but his, why? Because it's a car I never seen before. You know what I'm saying? Something I never had on my own. So when you detailing these cars, man, the little ones, like the yellow one, man, don't you know, most time I had to get on my hands and knees just to get down and to clean that car with. Especially the wheels, you have to get way down. You have to sit on your butt, man, just to clean these wheels. The car sits so low on the ground, you know. But when you get down to the bottom of the part of the car, you know, you got to get down, man, on your knees just to get underneath the panels and stuff like that. Wherever you can't see, but you got to get down there and get to it, you know. But when I did wipe on these cars, you know, I never did miss a spot. I wanted to make sure everything was done. I wiped at least about 3 times on that car to make sure I ain't forget to hit nothing on there. That's how spotless that car was looking. So, especially when you're putting the spray wax stuff on there, you still got to do it at least twice. Even the rims too. So you got to look spotless. A lot of people don't do that, but you know, I like to get my hands in there behind it and clean all the whole rim because, like I said, the front part look good, but when you get to the back part, it don't look good. It makes the car look still dirty. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure everything is done tightly on these cars. But when you got the Rolls Royce with those rims, man, those the roughest rims I ever did in my life. It's a lot to go through with those rims because it had the crease in it too around the curve thing, the way the rim is shaped on that Rolls Royce. So you have to make sure everything is done on that. You know, one little spot of dust that's still on that rim, you can see it. So you got to make sure you hit every inch of the rim. And you got to take your time doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a quick job to it. It might take you, with the Rolls Royce, it took me like 2.5 hours to do. Okay? Just to dry it off, you know, wipe it down, you know what I'm saying? Put a little wax on it, whatever. You know, it takes a long time to do it, you know? But you don't have to get on your hands and knees for that. But when I do go inside to clean, I make sure, because you don't know what type of clothes you got on that's going to pick up the dirt off the seats. So, in the Lamborghini, I always put something on the seat when I sit down in it. Never know. But to clean that dashboard, man, I was going in there with one knee and trying to lean up in there and get the dashboard, you know, the best way I can on both sides, you know what I'm saying? Passenger side and driver side. But you got to make sure everything is clean. You got to move the seats up forward, all the way up, vacuum all up back there, you know what I'm saying? If it ain't dirty, still got to wipe it down. You got the little window in the back, you know, you got to clean in and out on that. So you have to raise up the engine part just to get to the back window. You know, most time I don't think it's on that yellow one. The yellow one, but it's on the outside, so you ain't got to raise the hood. So you can do that. And I always went inside the trunk to vacuum out the trunk too. You know what I'm saying? But you still got to wipe down the edge of the trim of the hood and all that stuff like that. The back where the engine's at, you know. You got to make sure all that stuff is dried up. But a lot of guys think it's easy to clean them cars, but it's not. It's not easy at all. It's very hard to do because you got to make sure you get every inch of that water off the car. As soon as you take off, that water's just going to drain. You want to dry all that stuff off, you know. That way you ain't got to worry about no white spots dripping off the car, you know, stuff like that. So everything got to be done, man. But that's the way I treat it Red Ruby. You know, when I wash it, dry it off real good, raise the hood, raise the trunk, the door, the doors, get the inside the door trims and stuff like that. You got to make sure all that stuff is done. But if you're going to wax the car with spray wax, you got to spray wax all of that too. Because you never know when you got to pop the hood, you know what I'm saying, or the trunk or the doors. All that got to be looking beautiful just the same way as the car. So I think that's one reason why come CJ had me do his cars, because he know everything's going to get done the right way. You know what I'm saying? The proper way. So if you're going to spray wax everything on the outside of the car, you got to do the door jambs too. Everything got to look the same. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he got to look the max. Just like he just got off the car showroom floor. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I always been taught how to do a car, you know, through my oldest brother. You know, best way how I'm doing it. So one day I will get my hands on Rail to Rail's car, you know, Stunning Reese, you know, or anybody else that's out there, you know, but ain't no rush about it, but I will get a chance to get my hands on it. I posted this Stunning Reese one year, and he never did come by or whatever, but maybe I was busy or something. I don't know what happened on that one, but anyway, I will never turn them down. You know what I'm saying? So if I got so much to do with somebody else's cars and stuff like that, then I have to turn them down and get back with him later, you know. But it doesn't bother, you know what I'm saying? I just like detailing cars. I like wiping them all down. I like making them look good again, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to buffing cars, you know, that's not easy at all. It's a very hard job to do. Once you get involved with it, you know, it's good to do, but, you know, it's going to take you a while to get it done, you know what I'm saying? Because you want to make sure the car is done right for you and that person, you know what I'm saying? That person got to be satisfied with it. You know, if they ain't satisfied with it, I put it like this. You ain't got to pay me for it, you know what I'm saying? You can just get in your car and roll away. And I did a lot of people like that, you know. If you don't like my job, you ain't got to pay me, walk away. But I always get paid for my job, what I do with these cars or motorcycles, wherever it was, you know what I'm saying? So, motorcycle is the hardest job to do anyway. The last motorcycle I did in my garage, his name is Corey, and one of CJ's buddies. And man, it took me 2 days just to do that bike, man, because all that chrome. You know, you got the chrome out engine, then you got the chrome 30-inch rims on the front, you know. It's hard, man. It takes a while, but like I said, you got to make sure every inch is done. But you can't see two color types of the chrome, one to be faded and one to be brighter. So you know you got to hit that bad boy to make it all look the same. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take your time with it. You got to do everything by your finger. One towel, matter of fact, I got a towel in my pocket. Matter of fact, a towel, you got to fold your towel up when you're doing any rims. Always. Like that. Enough to put your finger in it like this here, over the top of your finger. Now, if you want to take that and be smart about it, you fold it over to this point here. Then you tie it around your finger like that, all right? Hold on to it tight, and you're going in and out of those rims. And then you wiping them all down, okay? Once you did all that, you find you another newer towel, cleaner towel, and you go back and you do it all over again with that towel. You see what I'm saying? You don't use the same towel twice on that one rim. Get rid of that towel, come back with another one, and you hit it again. Same way you do your rims on your car. I don't care what type of rims you got, you still got to squish your towels. If you hit it once with that one towel, get rid of it, come back with another towel and hit it again. That way you got everything. You know what I'm saying? And they'll look so glossy, so pretty, and so beautiful. You know what I'm saying? If you're using spray wax or paste wax, anything, you still got to do it twice. I will never use paste wax on it. You got to bring a spray wax, like a window cleaner spray, get in there and hit it. You know what I'm saying? And come back and hit it again. But you spraying with Windex on there, that you're not cleaning no mirror, man. You cleaning chrome, man. Get some chrome polish. Or better yet, spray wax. You know what I'm saying? I use them both. You see what I'm saying? I use them both. That way I know how bright this bad boy gonna look when you pull out the garage. Like paint jobs on the rims, like what CJ got on his. Spray wax. Hit one towel, boom, boom, hit all them rims. I mean, every loop, whatever it was. Come back with that second towel, do it all over again on that same wheel. So you're doing that wheel twice, not once. So if you want your wheels to look gorgeous, beautiful, like you just got them fresh painted, you got to do it that way, you know what I'm saying? Even my homeboy Cat Fresh Corner knows that. So you guys got to understand it's not an easy job to do, it's a hard job. But when you start getting into them deep dish, man, you better make sure you got a nice towel for the 9-inch lip or 10-inch lip. I take my towel, I will take it and fold it into that square. Like that. Okay? Now, you don't want your fingers to touch the chrome period on the wheel. So when you're hitting the back of in front of that 9-inch, your finger got to be right there on that towel, not over it. Your finger can't touch nothing. So you got to hit that 9-inch, 10-inch, whatever. Boom. Flip the towel. Boom, boom, boom. And then if you want to come back with a different towel, hit it again. But you got to make sure every wax is off of it. You got to be able to see your face in it. You got to be able to see that smile. I can't smile at it, but you got to be able to see. Once you hit that bad boy, it's all good to go. But that's what detailing is all about. Now, as far as I know, best thing to clean the window with is newspaper. Don't get that paper towel because you got some kind of oil stuff in it. These towels are okay to use, but newspaper is the best thing to use because it takes off the streaks and all the other stuff and make your window look like brand new also too. So with CJ's cars, I always use these type of towels. Okay? So the thing is, it's enough to do 2 windows with this towel. You got to switch towels before you start doing any other windows. So you're going to go through a lot of towels to clean the car to make it look gorgeous from top to bottom. Some people might say, no, you can use same towel, go all the way around. No. I tell you what, you clean that same window with one towel, pull it across side, and see what kind of streaks that you got on your windows. It's not gonna look right. So you gotta switch your towels. So you usually at least about 3 towels in your hand for your windows, because you're gonna have to switch after 2 windows off of that one towel. That's the only way you gotta do it, because you don't know what you picked up from the front window to the back window. You know what I'm saying? So you can pick up anything. So you gotta switch your towels. You gotta make it look good. So if you can't see out your window, and you can see out of it, but you can see little marks, streaks, or whatever, it's not good. That means the window's not clean. You know what I'm saying? It looks good, but it's not clean. But that's the only thing good about detailing, man. I love detailing. I've been doing this stuff since I was a young boy, a young man. I've been washed CJ's grandparents' cars. You know what I'm saying? My parents' cars. I kept my parents' cars clean every single freaky day. You know what I'm saying? Until my mother passed me her car. You know, my 25th birthday. I ain't had no driver license. She still gave me her car. 76 98 Oldsmobile 4-door with the white vinyl top on it. And that's when I decided to go ahead and fix up my car, because I ended up getting a job, you know, working for the school district at the time in Lockport and working at Burger King up in Lockport. So I made enough money to buy me a set of wheels and a set of rims put on it. You know what I'm saying? Had the chrome things around your windows. Had me some nice sounds in the car. And every time I got a check, you know, from my job, I passed it to my mama. Every single time I got paid, I passed my whole check to my mama. After my mama passed away, my mama had all that money in her account. My father took me to the bank and got all the money out and gave it back to me. He said she never used your money. She just put your money away. So they got me thinking, with all this money I gave her, what I'm going to do with it. My father always told me, it's up to you what you want to do with it. You want to get rid of the car, get your new car, you can afford it, or you can get your own place. I said, wow. I said, I'm ready to have my own place. He said, okay, you get your own place, you got to pay your own bills. That means everything. You got to pay it all. He said, I give you a week to think about it. And I thought about it. I said, dang, I don't think I can do that job. You know what I'm saying? I said, I don't think I can do that. You know? But he always told me, I ain't never got to leave. I can stay there with him. I said, man, what should I do? I said, everybody else gone. I said, everybody else done moved out except me. I said, I'll stay here with you. Until he brought another lady in the house. When he brought another lady in the house, I was pissed off about it. But everything was still controlled by me. So if anything happens to him, just like he said, everything stays with me, not to her. So he never did remarry to nobody. So after he passed away, you know, I ended up having the house, the cars, everything else. I really didn't want anything, so I kind of split it out from the rest of my brothers and sisters, you know, and let them take care of whatever they wanted, you know. I didn't want the house, I didn't want the car, I didn't want the money. All I wanted was the parents. I didn't want nothing else. That's the way I feel about CJ. I don't want anything from him. I just need him in my life because CJ always been there for me. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Good-hearted person. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing I can say bad about him at all because there's nothing out there. So my point is, like I said, he's a real good, cool person. I see the point. What I'm trying to say is that I'm getting old. I'm not able to get out there with them like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm 57 years old. Well, I look like being out there with them guys, and getting in myself in trouble. Not them, but getting myself in trouble. So ain't no need for all that. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate him for helping me out with my YouTube channel, getting it up. He the one that gave me Lost with Jerry name, as a lot of people doesn't know. He did help me out with a car, even though he didn't have to help me out with a car and stuff like that, but he did for me and my kids and the wife and stuff like that, It was paid for. I paid for the insurance, paid for the plates, titles, and kept everything going from there, you know what I'm saying? So I can't sit there and say he's a bad person or whatever because he's not. He's a good person. So a lot of people that's out there mad at him or upset with him, they need to stop because, it's a story that I can tell you about him, but I'm not going to share it with y'all. But all I can say is that he's a good person. He came from a good family, you know what I'm saying? Just like I said, his grandparents was my godparents, Good people, His father is more like my uncle, His uncles, CJ's uncles more like my uncles, Man, his aunties, man, beautiful people. You know what I'm saying? They just like my sisters and my aunties. You know what I'm saying? So I love them all. I really do. I love every last one of them. I ain't got no hate towards them. I can't hate them for what reason? Ain't no reason for me to hate them. So, like I said, I text CJ all the time. Make sure he's okay. Just say hello. How you doing? Everything's cool, blah, blah, blah. But he's a busy man. You know what I'm saying? So, I see him when I see him, but not in a hurry. But, we're just about what? 40 minutes away? And he don't need to worry about that. I know he's good, He's doing okay. He's doing his thing. He's doing his job. Just like everybody else out there doing their job on YouTube. Doing a great job. You know what I'm saying? So far so good. I'm loving everybody's video, man. I appreciate everybody out there watching my videos. Thumbs up. More subscribers coming to the channel, Right now I'm at 18,022 people. Wonderful, beautiful peoples out there, man. I love them all, man. I text a few of them on there. You know what I'm saying? Man, I appreciate it a lot of people, man. I really do. You guys that come into my channel, y'all made me who I am. Without y'all, I won't be Lost with Jerry. I won't be on YouTube. And I love doing it. Good videos coming up pretty soon. A lot of good contacts is coming up good, pretty soon. Because when I get on my journey, y'all still going to see a lot of good stuff anyway. A lot of stuff I want to do, I'm going to do a lot of stuff, while I'm still here. I really do. So, the next video I make, I would do a shout out for one of my subscribers. He asked me to do him a shout out, so, I can't even think of his name right now, but I will write it down and give him a shout out, you know what I'm saying, and take it from there. I don't know who's new that's coming to the channel. Y'all don't tell me y'all new. If y'all tell me y'all new, y'all get the shout out. I just need y'all to put new subscriber, and I can give it to you, you know what I'm saying? So, 18,022 good, wonderful subscribers that's out there, man. Beautiful family, man. Hey, I love you all out there. I really do. And I appreciate you guys listening to me on this video, man. And keep your head up, A lot of y'all told me to keep my eyes up. It's been up ever since, and everything is all good. Man. Appreciate everybody out there, man. I really do. Just be safe. And I'll catch y'all in the next video, alright? Peace. We out.